Hi, welcome again. Let me show you something interesting. Here you can see some sort of summer hut. So I can put the player and we can walk into that. Alright, this is how it looks like. The interesting thing is this summer hut is created right inside Unreal Engine using these 5 Megascan assets. Here we have some sort of stone tower and a small rock and a rook ridge and 2 types of foliage. Let me show you how to create this right inside Unreal Engine. First, we need to install a plugin called OpenLand Mesh. So that's the plugin we use to scatter or instance these static meshes. After you install that, make sure to enable that plugin for your project. Let's go to Edit Plugins and then search for OpenLand Mesh and make sure you enable that. You also need to get these assets from the Megascans, and then it will be really useful to arrange your window like this. It's not a requirement, but it will help you to work around with this plugin. First, make sure to drag the details panel into a different window like this, and then you need to have 2 content browsers, one over here and one over there. Yeah, and that's it. All right, let's start making our summer hut. I have a directory called my content over there, so that's where all my content goes. Then I'm gonna right click over here and create a new blueprint class. Now search for DM underscore. Here, these are the dynamic meshes comes with OpenLand Mesh. Then we're gonna use these dynamic meshes to scatter our objects. Here, I'm trying to create the rock pillar, the center rock pillar for summer hut. So I'm gonna use a cylinder for that one. So we have something called DM underscore cylinder. I'm gonna select that. And then I'm gonna give it a name like rock pillar. Then I'm gonna drag that into scene. So it's a cylinder. And then I'm gonna reset the location. So it will be really easy to work with this way. Right, then I'm gonna increase the height of my cylinder. So let's go somewhere around 380. Okay, it's just a random number. And I'm gonna hit build mesh after that. So now we have this. Then I'm gonna go to OpenLand Mesh section on the details panel. And here we have something called mesh visibility. I'm gonna put height always. And then here another section called OpenLand Mesh instancing. All right. Here I have instancing groups. I'm going to create a new one, and I'm here. The placement object is static mesh. I'm going to put a static mesh over here. For that one, I'm going to browse my Megascan directory, and then here we have a small rock. I'm going to select that and drag it over here. And then we have some set of sampling algorithm. Then I'm going to pick the move to Z axis. Right. Then I'm going to hit apply instances. So now you can see. Then I'm going to increase the number of rows, and then I'm going to hit build mesh. Right now we have something like this. Okay, then I'm gonna go to the OpenLand Mesh instancing section again. Then here we have something called random rotation. I'm gonna do some random rotation over the z-axis. Then I can do some random scale as well. So random uniform scale. Let's put 1.5 over there. Okay, 1 to 1.5. All right, I have a little bit of randomness. Okay, that's cool. But now we need little more definition over here. In order to do that, I'm going to duplicate this instancing group. All right. And right now I'm going to use a different sampling algorithm called modified Poisson 2D. So this is a random sampler. I'm going to apply. All right. Now we have this and it's look good, but I don't want to have exactly this. And here you can see we have top and bottom faces as well. We don't need in this case. And then this is too much for our case. I'm going to put density around, start with 1. But these rocks are in the air, but we don't want that. Then we're gonna bring that close together. So we can easily do that by going here to random displacement. Even though this is called random, if you put the same value for the min and max, so it's a simple displacement. Here I'm gonna put minus, let's say minus 50. All right, it looks good. Then I'm gonna increase the density a little bit more. All right, this looks like what we need. Then let's scatter some foliage over there. So I'm gonna create a new instancing group. Static mesh as the placement object, and then let's select the foliage, just drag it over here, apply instancing. So this is gain too much. I'm going to start with a density of 1. All right, okay. I think this grass card is quite wider, so I'm gonna reduce the scale a little bit, maybe 0.5 to 0.8. Okay, still is too much. I'm gonna put 0.6. So I'm gonna again do a random displacement to tie it to the rock, minus 30 this time. I think minus 30 is a little bit too much. Let's put maybe minus 15. All right, that will do. So then I can increase the density a little bit. Yep, this looks like what we need. All right, I'm gonna save this right now. Okay, now we have a rock pillar. Now let's create the hut or the roof part. To do that, I'm again create a new blueprint. Right click, new blueprint class, and I'm gonna search for dm underscore. Now we have the dynamic meshes comes with open land mesh. Here I'm gonna select the half sphere. So I'm gonna select that. Right, let's give it a name like hut roof. Then I'm gonna bring it over here, and then again I'm going to move to the default location. I'm gonna move it across the z-axis, and then let me scale this a little bit. I'm gonna put the uniform scale mode, yeah, something like this, and then I'm gonna change the top axis a little bit. All right, if you don't like, we can change it always. I'm going to put a mannequin over here, so then I can easily grab the scale. All right, then let's bring this down a little bit so it will like touch the rock pillar. Now let's scatter our roof ridge into this mesh. So then I'm going to go to my details panel. Then in the open land mesh instance section, I'm going to create a new group. So this will be my roof ridge. So then let's grab the roof ridge over here. All right, apply instances. It's a little bit small, and here we use the sample algorithm as the random one, the modify position 2D, but I'm going to use a different one called pick vertices. And then I'm gonna increase the size a little bit, maybe 2 times. Let's see. Then we have the bottom of this half sphere as well. We don't need that, so I'm gonna remove the bottom using add bottom and hit build mesh again. All right, then we need to rotate the roof ridge. I'm going to the instance section again, and here we have the random rotation of the z-axis. I'm gonna put it 90 degrees. All right, this will do. And then now you can see it's fine, but it looks like a little bit uniform. Everything looks uniform. Let's introduce some randomness. So I'm gonna change the rotation a little bit like this. So it will have some rotation, but it's too much. And then I can change the scale as well. Maybe 2.5 over here. And then about the mesh, we don't need the actual mesh, so we can hide the mesh always. Now you have this, so I can put the player. Right, and yep, this looks like what we need. Right, then let's grow some foliage over here. I'm creating a new instance group, and then it's a static mesh. Let's put some foliage over here. Apply instances. Okay, we have this. Again, we need to change the displacement. So let's put minus 15. Apply. Right, I think it's too much. Let's put minus 10 over here. Right, I'll increase the density a little bit. Right, this looks like what we need. Nice. I'm gonna save everything. All right, now let's create the ground. Now I'm gonna create another blueprint. Again, I'm gonna search for dm underscore for the dynamic meshes, and here I'm gonna select a regular polygon and select, and give it a name like ground. Let's put that into the map. I'm gonna recenter. Now we have a triangle over here. You can see here. I like to change the radius, maybe 5 meters, and hit build mesh. Okay. And then let's give side, let's give 7 sides. All right, now we have this. Now you can see this flashing because these two meshes are fighting for the z-axis. That's why we can see this, and that's totally fine. I'm gonna hide this mesh anyway. Mesh visibility, hide always. Right. Then I'm gonna create a new instancing group, and let's add some foliage. Nice. Maybe let's decrease the density, and let's create another instancing group, and let's add another type of foliage. This one. Okay, and I'm gonna reduce the density, and I'm gonna increase the size a little bit for this one. Okay, that will do. Right now everything looks good. Now I'm gonna put these rock pillars or the stone pillars around this mesh. To do that, I'm gonna create a new instancing group, static mesh, and I'm gonna select my 3D asset, this one, Japanese stone lantern, and I'm gonna hit apply. But this is not exactly what we need, but it looks really nice. Anyway, I'm gonna change the sampling algorithm to something called pick centroids. Right, this ground plane you can see over here that we created, it's a polygon created with triangles. So we're gonna pick centroid in this case, or each and every triangles in this case, and that's what this pick centroid sampling algorithm does. All right, this will be really useful for cases like this. And then so this is too tight into the center. I need to like go away from the center, so I'm going to use random displacement. So I cannot do the z-axis because it will go upwards. Then I'm going to try to do x-axis. Let's give it a try. I'm going to put it 100 centimeters. Then it will go away along the our global x-axis, not from the center. But we can easily fix that. Here we have something called calculate tangent x. Here by default we select that tangent from the UVs, but if we use to pivot, then it will create the x-axis of this placement object to the pivot. So then we can easily do displacement like this. And then we can simply increase the number of sides. We have this, can go crazy like this, and it's up to you. Again, I don't need this much of sides. Let's give it 7. Right, then let's play the game. This is exactly what we need. All right, now let's say I need to create more copies of this. So how can I do that? As of right now, it will be really hard because we put all the settings on the actor itself, not the actual blueprint. So if we create a new HUD, it won't do anything. So now we're gonna grab all these changes we made to this actor into the blueprint. As of right now, there is no automatic way to do that. We need to manually do that, but it's not that hard. So we'll start with the rock pillar. Right, I'm gonna select my actor here and go to the instances section. This is where all the configuration is. I'm gonna right click over there and I can copy everything. And then I'm gonna open the actual blueprint by clicking here. Let's put it over here. And I'm going to go to my instances section and I'm going to paste the settings that I copied. So that's cool. You can see I did some changes on the default section as well. We changed the rows and the height. So I'm going to copy all these things into the actual blueprint. Right, once I add all these things, I can simply compile and save. And now we have this. So now I can simply get the rock pillar. So as soon as I put that into the map, so I have what we need. So I'm going to delete these 2 pillars, and then let's do the same thing for both ground and the hard roof. So I'll start with hard roof, copy everything, open the blueprint, paste it here. I'm going to get the scale. I'm going to set the scale of the mesh component. Then I'm going to select the root, and we don't need the bottom. And I'm going to hide the mesh always, and I'm going to hit compile and save. Then you will see something like this. That's totally fine because we change the actual scale inside the blueprint. Then we don't need to do any scale changes over there. So I'm going to reset that. Right, then I can put the hard roof over here. Right, man, that's what we need. Right, then I'm going to do the same thing for the ground. Right, then let's verify. Okay, even right now we have these 3 parts as separate entities, but it will be really nice we can merge these 3 things together. We can easily do that. To do that, I'm going to create a new dynamic mesh. Let's search for cube, and you can select anyone here, but I like a cube. And then let's give it a name like summer hut. I'm going to drag that into the scene. Okay, then I'm going to move all these 3 other actors into this summer hut, so we have one single thing we can use. Again, I'm going to my open land mesh instancing section, create a new instancing group. Now I'm going to select the placement object as actor. I'm going to select the rock pillar and hit this arrow, so it will come here. And for the sampling algorithm, I'm going to select use origin, so only one. Right, now we have this, pretty cool. I'm going to duplicate this, and in this case it will be the roof, hard roof. Right, now the roof is on the bottom. We can simply change the position over the z-axis. In order to do that, let me check the actual C position change. It should be 262 centimeters. All right, that's cool. Then I'm going to select my summer hut again, go here and go to random displacement, 262. Right, cool. Then I'm going to create a new instancing group, actor, and it should be my ground actor. And sampling algorithm is use origin, and right now we have this. So I can simply move this single cube here and there, and we can easily move our summer hut along that cube. Then if I create an instance of the summer hut into the scene, it won't do anything because this blueprint doesn't have anything. So we're gonna move all this actor configuration into the blueprint, summer hut, select all settings of this instancing section, open the summer hut blueprint, and I'm gonna paste it over there, and that's all we need to do. And in this case, I like to for the mesh visibility of the cube, I like to do hide in game. Compile and save. Then I'm going to delete everything on the scene. Then I'm going to create a new summer hut instance. Right, now we can put as many as summer hut we need into the scene. Right, and that's it. See you soon with something interesting. Bye.